We have Tyrese Maxey, which we talked about him last year. Every week there's new workout videos of Tyrese Maxey coming up, but this one, it's not about a workout video so much. It's more about, he was on a podcast where he talked about his off-season regimen, where he says he wakes up at 5 and he does 3 workouts before 11 a.m. Monday through Friday. Every day he tries to get 3 workouts in before that. He says it gives him a psychological advantage over his opponents because he knows as he's working and doing court workouts, weight room, and then court again before 11 a.m. his opponents are sleeping while he's doing that. He says it feels like he's doing more than his opponent. And with a work ethic like that for a 21-year-old, I mean, I feel like it's just beyond his years. I feel like it's like Kobe-esque. I mean, for that mentality. Although a lot of NBA players have that same mentality. It just feels like he's wise beyond his years for a 21-year-old. But I guess, what do you guys think about his mentality? And overall, what do you think Tyrese Maxey's ceiling is?
I mean, he putting in work. I think if guys put in the same work, to me personally, it really doesn't matter what time you do it. I was a morning person. AI hated, he was we play in the evening. We should practice in the evening. That was his belief. And he was firm on that. Why don't we practice the same time that we play?
It's an interesting point to bring up.
It's good logic.
So, I just think if it's just about the work, the time. I'm not one to think if you get it in before a certain time that you have an advantage. I don't necessarily see that. I think it helps you with the rest of your day. It's like you have the rest of your day off. Yeah. I'm a morning person, so you kind of feel like you have the rest of your day. So I don't think that, I just think the advantage is he's probably putting in more work than guys, not necessarily how early it is.
Mm-hmm.
As far as his ceiling, I think it's tough to say that right now because I don't think we've truly been able to see everything that he has to offer for a full season. Like, I don't think we've been able to say, hey, here's the keys to the car. You go run this organization and you the guy. I don't think we've seen it for a full season. We've seen it to start the season with Joel and then James comes. So it's kind of hard to say, is he going to be a Dame Lillard, a Darius Garland, a Trae Young? We don't know. I guess it's capable. Is he going to be a Drew Holiday? All really good players.
I'll take any of them.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're always good. So
take 3.
Yeah, but I would say his ceiling is to me, I think he can be a multi-year all-star player. I don't know if he can be a perennial one where he can be one every year, but I think he's a guy that's capable of making multiple all-star games. Sort of, there was a time when Kyle Lowry, no one thought he would ever be, the type of player that he is when he consistently made all-star games. I mean, I can remember the time when no one thought he would do that. So I do think that he can be that type of player. Hopefully that's, with us. But if I had to take a guess, that's where I'm thinking he's headed.
I'm so happy Maxey is so young, under contract for cheap for years, and has his mentality. It's great just not to have to worry about a guy like, there's been certain players in the past where we've wondered what they're doing in the off season, and we needed proof to see, oh, okay, he's working on it. He's working on it. Won't name names, but Maxey's. I don't have to even see those workout videos. You just know he's working on it. It's amazing to have that. As far as ceiling goes, I mean, yeah, I do agree with you, Eric. It is a little unfair, and he hasn't had to do all that stuff. But what's crazy is how efficient he's been, because some guys, their stats get really hurt by that lack of opportunity and volume, right? But he's learned to even still come through and put up stats with a low number of shots taken, and he's just so efficient, and he's really good at the line. He's got and parts of his game, you just watch him get better. You can watch him get better by the day. You hear that a lot, but I mean, it's just when you watch him, you're like, man, he's just improving in front of our eyes. And I remember when we would watch games, Marcus and I'd be like, we would think like his step back three and his distance would just get further back, and you're like, oh, he's just really hot right now. But like, no, it became a part of his game all of a sudden, just to pull up a long three. And you're like, whoa, man, like you have that now, huh? Okay, cool. That's just who you are. Great. I'd say as far as some of the guys you named, I like too. I like the Garland one. That was a good one. Ironically, because of all the trade talk with Donovan Mitchell, he reminds me a little Donovan Mitchell too. Not as long, but I think he's got some traits there. He can shoot, he can hit mid-rangers, very crafty around the whole left and right hand. What he does is just incredible. But I mean, I'd say with like a Donovan Mitchell, I wouldn't say Ja because he's not nearly as athletic. But I think he's got a better shot than Ja too, though. So, some
also got the ball. That's what I'm saying. Like Ja is the key. He got the keys.
That's true. That's true.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, how much of that are we going to be able to see of him with Joel being the number one option?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Donovan Mitchell had the keys too. But see, Donovan Mitchell, I think's like overshooting, right? Like he's the opposite of Maxey. I think Maxey, I'd like to get more opportunity. Donovan Mitchell, I feel like is forcing because he has to. I mean, last year he had to.
Donovan Mitchell's also not the lead guard.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
I see if Maxey's reaching his maybe highest ceiling, and he's going to be like a Darius Garland. He's going to be the lead guard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe for right now, Mitchell is possibly a better comparison because he is off ball, and so is Maxey. And Conley's pretty ball dominant, right? So yeah, but I mean, hey, look, any of the guys we named, I'm anywhere close to those guys, I'd be happy with. I mean, where everyone's saying Sixers need to look for a big three. I mean, if he's got those guys possibly in his future, then that is a big three, Yeah.
Just young, very young and raw still, which is great because he's really.
Yeah.
The leap we talked about before, the leaps he's made from year one to year two, amazing. So I'm curious to see how he takes all these off-season workouts and puts them into the year three. It's funny though, his looking at it, he was a high school video where they asked him where like he compares his game to what he looks to in high school. He said he loves watching James Harden's game. His step back three is something he loves watching. That's what he said in high school. But he said he wanted to he models his game after Dame Lillard. So I don't really see how he's modeled the game after Dame Lillard. I mean, yeah, he's come down and you see him pop threes from like deep, but like he doesn't do it consistently.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to say. When Tyrese Maxey was in Texas, and I was in Texas when he was in high school, he was more of a lead guard. He had the ball more. He was more ball dominant. So you can see him pattern himself after James and Dame Lillard because that's the way, the style he was playing in high school. Whereas now, he doesn't have the ball as much and as ball dominant, so it's tough to kind of say what his true ceiling is going to be until he becomes the main and primary ball handler. In my
yeah. He named someone else too, didn't he? Another player he
said on the high school level, he said he really enjoys watching Clippers guy,
Trey Man. Trey Man. Yeah. That's funny. They both good players.
Yeah.
It's interesting too, because I think there would be a lot more pressure on Maxey. The fact that Harden's here and has become like pretty much the story, everyone's been saying we go as depending on which Harden comes out next year. I think that takes a lot of pressure off Maxey to have to take these leaps. So it's cool to see him step up and want to take a leap anyway, even if the pressure's not there. He feels like he needs to and wants to, which is cool.
Yeah. Because you saw in the playoffs, there was games where Harden really wasn't doing much, and Maxey. It was the first few games of the Raptors series. Maxey took off, and we went where Maxey went in those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, excited to see where this his career goes. and which one of these point guards steps he follows.